So today we're going to learn about difference of squares, and we're going to start out by multiplying FOILing them out. So we do first, it was x squared, outer minus 2x, inner plus 3x, last minus 6, and we combined our like terms. So we have x squared plus x minus 6, and you should all know how to do that. If we look at number 2, want to do first, outer, inner, last again. So we have x squared plus 6x minus 6x minus 36. And simplifying, we're left with x squared minus 36. And if you notice, the middle terms cancel out. So when we have an x minus 6 and an x plus 6, when everything is the same except for the sign, then we're going to have an x squared and our 6 squared with a subtraction in between. So when we factor these, we're looking for them for the equation to be in an x squared minus a squared form, where it has to be subtraction, and then we can FOIL them out to an x plus a and x minus a. So for the first one, we have an x squared, so we have an x plus an x minus, and then we find the square root of 64, which is 8. So we put an 8 in both spots, and our factored term is x plus 8, x minus 8. Number 4, it's really similar, except we have c in place of x, and they're reversed. We can do it reversed, it's perfectly fine. We just take the square root of 81 is 9. So we have 9 now. And it's a subtracting and a plus, and our variable, we just put a c in for each. So 9 plus c, 9 minus c is our solution, and we can check this if we want by doing the O and the I again of FOIL. Just to make sure it cancels out, we have negative 9c plus 9c would give us 0, so there is no middle term. Number 5, I want you guys to do on your own, so pause the video and work it out. You should have 8g plus h times 8g minus h. Number 6, we have 9x cubed minus 4x. We have an x in each term, so we're going to have to factor it out, and then we can have 9x squared minus 4, so we can square root each term. The square root of 9 is just 3, and x is just x, and the square root of 4, so we have 3x in both terms, a plus and a minus. Square root of 4 is 2, so x times 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 2 is our factored solution. Number 7, I want you guys to try on your own, so pause the video and try to work it out. You should come up with the factored term y, 3 minus y, 3 plus y as your solution. Number 8, we have y to the 4th minus 1. It may be a little tricky for some of you to see, but we can rewrite it as y squared squared minus 1 squared, because 1 times 1 is just 1, and y squared to the second is y to the 4th. Then it's in the term that we want. So our factors are y squared plus 1, y squared minus 1. For number 9, we have 4a to the 4th minus b to the 4th. And again, we can rewrite this as 2a squared squared minus b squared to the second, where 2a squared is our x term and b squared is our a term. So then we have 2a plus 2a minus, and we just plug in our b squared. Oops, our a's should be squared as well. So our solution is 2a squared plus b squared times 2a squared minus b squared. Number 10, I want you guys to try on your own. So pause the video, and you should get a solution of 2y squared minus 5, y squared plus 5. Number 11, we have 6x to the fourth minus 96. For this problem, I can factor out a 6. Then I have x to the fourth minus 16. And I can break up x to the fourth minus 16 into x squared plus 4, x squared minus 4. Square root of 16 is 4, which is plugged in here. Square root of x to the fourth is just x squared, and I rotate my signs with a positive and negative and get our solution. Now number 12, we have 4 terms, so we're going to have to go back to factoring by grouping. So we can group the first 2 and the second 2 and factor out what they have in common. The first one, we have an m squared, so we have 2m plus 1. And the second one, we have a negative 25 in common. So then we have a 2m plus 1. We can factor out our like term, 2m plus 1. And then combine what we have left of m squared minus 25. We can't do anything with the first term, but we can look at the second term, and it's our difference of squares. So we can split it up again to the m plus, m minus, and find the square root of 25. We just plug in our 5. So our solution is 2m plus 1 times m plus 5 times m minus 5. Number 13. Again, we can do factoring by grouping. So we group the first 2 and group the second 2 and pull out what they have in common. So for the first term, we can factor out an r squared, and we're left with r plus 6. The second one, we can factor out an 11, and we're left with r plus 6. So then we can factor out the r plus 6 from both terms, and we're left with r squared plus 11. And we do have a squared term, however we have a plus in the middle, so since it's not subtracting, we can't do anything with it. So r plus 6 times r squared plus 11 is as factored as can be. This last problem I want you guys to try on your own, so pause the video and try to work through it. You should get a solution of 6, x plus 2, x minus 2, times x plus 5. And that is the lesson on difference of squares.